you feel like every time you chillax, you feel some level of guilt? Because I'm like, I don't know if there's going back to regular human mode.
Hey, what's up, humans? Human Music Podcast back at you one more again. We got Rip Kenny and Tesko with me. I'm Trap Jesus. How was your guys' weekend?
Fucking lit.
Brave horns.
It's pretty good.
Brave horns abound. It was good, man. Took actually a little bit of time off from working on music 100% straight. And then felt guilty about it. So
Me too, man.
That's
Me too. I took a little break. Oh, it's my friend's birthday. We're getting a little Airbnb, gonna smoke some weed, and then 2 days go by without me building anything for music. And it's like, oh shit. I mean, I had fun. I had a blast to go out with some of my friends, but there's that voice in the back of my mind always like, oh yeah, remember what you were supposed to be doing?
Yeah, have you guys found a way to like come to peace with that, or do you feel like every time you chillax you feel some level of guilt? Because I'm like, I don't know if there's going back to regular human mode for me at this point.
It's interesting because if I'm doing something that is an experience, I don't feel like that, right? Like the weekend, was that last weekend or before? It was June 20th, so that was the weekend before last. I went up to Mount Hood for like this solstice party where you like fucking hike up the mountain and then everyone fucking hangs out on the snow at like 10,000 feet and parties and then skis down and like that kind of thing. Like that's an experience. Like I remember that shit like that. Those are the kinds of things that like stick with me in a positive way when I go to write music. Like the diversity of input results in a diversity of output through the creative work. It's the days where you don't have anything planned and you kind of just hang out and you were going to do this, but you didn't really feel like it, or the plans kind of fell through. Then you end up just like fucking doing nothing. Really? Like really doing nothing? Like you might have like watched TV or like done yard work or something, but like those are the days that fucking grind my conscience for like, why didn't you do anything productive? You could, I just watched you sit there for fucking 3 hours. Piece of shit. I hate you.
I love how you phrase it in third person too. I just watched you, human suit, meat
exactly.
suit. You useless meat suit.
Control of your fucking ape, says my conscience. and is very angry that I wasn't able to do that or see far enough in advance to realize that I should have prioritized that time differently. But yeah, I do think it is really important not to just pigeonhole yourself into music all the time. I mean, if you're doing something that's like a consistent output, like say you were like, you had to make 2 beats a day to like sustain a living on like making hip hop beats. Like I get that. Like you can, like if you had a process down, you could crank that out. But like if you're trying to come up with like interesting creative output, I think you have to have a diversity of inputs just to like re-trigger different ways of your brain, like firing impulses and like thinking of things differently, you know?
I 1000% agree with that. But also on the converse, I think of like, did Kobe need a diverse input of experiences to be one of the best players in the world, or whoever?
I'm talking about a creative output.
But you could still argue that, if you put in more...
Practicing your jump shot, getting in your repetitions with your jump shot is similar but not the same to creative. Like practicing your jump shot is making serum patches. If you're really good at making serum patches, but completely fucking uninspired and feel trapped by your own surroundings, you're probably not going to have the happiness and dopamine to be interested in the work that you're doing to result in a good creative output.
Yeah, I guess I personally have like trouble coming to terms with that because I always still feel like like you said, like I 100% agree. Like the creative aspect and like getting serum patches in is more similar to like hitting free throws than creating something. But even still, I always like rationalize it in the sense of like, well, what if that one serum patch is exactly what you need to inspire you? And I'm definitely not devaluing like being a proper, well-rounded human being. But I'm also like, I personally feel crushed sometimes under this weight. And I like it. I invite the feeling because I'd rather have it than not have it. But something I struggle with is like always, I don't even know if it's struggle. Like I'm having trouble picking my words here because I don't know how to properly connotate like how it feels. But I'm always like, if I could just sacrifice that one more thing, to give myself this extra like 30 minutes to fit this in, or if I could like cut this one thing out of my life and like prioritize music that 1% more, 0.1% more, like, I want to get to that point where I'm eventually like renowned for something, but it's also like I feel like my rest days at this point are totally unplanned. And it's just like after an hour or two of me being absolutely useless, I'm just like, all right, I guess this is a rest day today,
Well, what I'm saying is that like that day, you could have used that day to go do.
I could have.
Interesting. And then that experience of like full fucking burnout to the point where you can't even do the thing that you wanted to do doesn't really happen.
Yeah. So that is where I sort of struggle because I lose that hour or two of watching my human meat suit be absolutely useless before I realize like, this is my off day,
You don't realize
versus
the breaking point.
Yes. Cause if I have it in me that day, then I could do anything.
Yeah.
And I'll feel guilty for not putting in the time into my passion. Right. So I don't know. I'm in a weird little dilemma I face.
I mean, I get it.
Shouts to all of us for actually getting to a spot in our own lives and our own careers where instead of the discussion being like, damn, can I just like squeeze a whole music day into my week? It's like, damn, I think to not die, I should squeeze one non-music day into one of these weeks this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell a lot of my students. They're like, yeah, I'm just trying to find some more days for music. I'm like, nah, man, you got to get on like Spiderhound said, that 10 minutes a day challenge and get that rolling so you can do something every day and get to the point where you got to be like, okay, I've done this so many days and I've made so much progress and I'm actually exhausted because I've been doing what I said I wanted to do. Now, that's when you got to start planning in those break days for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I haven't lost that perspective completely, but sometimes I forget that people live differently. And so when people ask me like, yeah, like how do I schedule more time for music? Like I always tell them do the Spiderhound thing, but then I realize like, holy shit, I'm so far off the deep end that I'm like thinking the total opposite way. Like, how do I shut my mind up for like 15 minutes to read a book or whatever? If it's not music or business related, like especially reading a fiction book or something. Oh man.
Yeah, no, I feel it. I actually watched a TED Talk this morning, like directly on not this topic, but like a very similar concept that actually hit pretty hard for me. Let's see if I can find what it was called. Yes, I can, because it is right here. Sean Achor, Achor, The Happy Secret to Better Work. So this guy is like a psychologist and has researched essentially like productivity as it relates to people's happiness and self-worth. And what he found is that we have created a society where, and you need to watch this TED Talk because it's fucking great.
Links in the description.
Yeah, links in the description. we've created a society where happiness is past the horizon of success. So what that means is your goal, your sales number that you have to reach, your thing to achieve, once you achieve it, you set the next goal that has moved further. Your sales target, you hit your sales target, great job. We're going to make that bigger because you need to improve, and I think you could do it. And it's like a natural inclination of us to continue to move the goalpost forward for success. But since we have tied our happiness to the result of that success, we've essentially made it a carrot and a stick relationship in which we will never actually get the carrot of happiness because we have tied that to success, which is the next goal, right? So essentially, and he related it back to a business perspective, your employees, when they are happy and their brains are producing dopamine, the science shows that person is 30% better able to problem solve, 20% better able to deal with people. And they have basically shown that like people's success in a job scenario is 25% how smart they are and 75% how positive they deal with people, how other people view the relationship they have with them. It's like if the person is happy and energized and wants to be there, that person, regardless of how smart they are, 75% chance that they're going to be very successful. And so basically what he's saying is that you need to reverse engineer the way that you establish your goal system, your daily setup, to first focus on positivity, like creating an environment where there's like positive self-talk, that you're writing what you're grateful for, you're journaling, you're spreading positivity to others. I think that's actually probably why I texted you guys.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate you, even though I do, and I tell you guys that like all the fucking time. Like, you know, it's just one of those things like, fuck, I need to tell those guys I appreciate them because I really fucking do. And this was a good reminder. You know, it's like.
Likewise, homie.
Yeah.
We appreciate your appreciation.
Yes. That is a positivity appreciation infinite loop.
Yes.
And so if you start with that in mind and you start with the positivity, that energizes you to then do better work, which then actually feeds the thing that you wanted to do, which was be successful. And then it's just like a way better way to approach this whole loop of bettering yourself. And I just fucking found that so fascinating because I myself am guilty of doing that the wrong way. Like always hedonistic adaptation of the thing that you just did. You just made a great song. It got released. Some of your friends were like, oh, this is a great song. I like it. Cool. That's done. I don't feel good about that anymore. How do I make the next fucking amazing thing? Like, hold the fuck on. Like, why? Just you need to be happy with the things that you have done and be happy with the relationships that you have and the system that you have built for yourself in which you can function and thrive in. Like, there are so many things to be positive about on a daily basis, but our ape brain just wants to go, oh, you haven't done X thing that you said you were going to do or whatever. You know, like, it's just so easy to get caught up in the next thing and fucking forget that actually going the opposite way would get you to that next thing faster, right?
Yeah. And so, like, I think that this all kind of points to the reminder to, yes, of course, we got to set goals. And, you know, we want to set them in a way where they build off each other and we can continue to get things done. But to remember that the satisfaction of doing what we do is way more sustainable if we find it in the process instead of just in the result that we're going for. Like, if you only want the song out, but you don't enjoy making it, most of your time is going to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And not to keep bringing it back to me, but I think that is what makes it so hard to step away, is that I like the process more than everything else. Like, I'll actively try to take up new hobbies, but it's just like, I don't know what it is about sitting in your dark music dungeon, putting sounds together that is just so captivating. Like, it's like entrancing. It puts you in this like very like creative flow state. And I think flow state, regardless of what you do, whether it's music, whether it's, I don't know, bird watching, or whether it's sewing or whatever, that flow state is, I think, the true happiness to human beings when we're creating. I think we touched up on this in that DMT episode, but that act of creation, you could argue, is like as close as we could get to God, or the idea of God, or, you know, it's the best way to pay homage to this idea of God, the all creator, whatever way you want to believe in that complex idea. But flow state in general, and like finding ways to optimize flow state, I think is the most satisfying feeling. And then what you said too, Evan, like being grateful for that, and then being able to like step away for a while. I think if you could optimize getting yourself into a flow state and coming up with a routine where you could consistently do that, and then also schedule days to not be a one-dimensional human being, that's the peak of life. Screw the money, screw all the like superficial materialistic stuff. That's like, those are the best experiences you could have, I think, in this life.
I like it. What's up, humans? It's Luke, your friendly neighborhood trap Jesus. Thank you so much for watching our videos. We appreciate you. Remember to like and subscribe to our channels. And if you have any questions or topics that we need to cover on the show, put them in the comments. Appreciate you. Peace, and peace among worlds.